Alright guys, well, it is a horrible, crappy, rainy day, but I need a video. So, we're going to talk about one that I have had some questions on, and yeah. So, we are in my extremely noisy, boosted Honda Civic. This is a D16 Y7 that I put a Y8 intake manifold on and turboed it. So, I think one of the biggest roadblocks or intimidating factors of turboing your Civic, if you're somebody like me, somebody that's wanting to do it very budget and not go like all out 100%. They just kind of want to do something to it. They want to turbo it. Never turboed a car, you know, and that would be aftermarket ECU and tuning. So, what I did was I turboed my Civic with eBay parts, eBay and Amazon parts. I've got a walkthrough video and I've got a step-by-step broke up into multiple videos of everything I've done to the Civic. But yeah, so I turboed the Civic without a tune, without an aftermarket ECU. I left my ECU that came in the car, and it's running just fine right now. So the way I did it was I came across an old school way that guys used to do it, and that was using an FMU. So that is a fuel management unit, and basically what it does is blocks off the return flow of fuel and forces more fuel pressure into your injectors so that it can kind of compensate for the added airflow, your turbo, and not make the car run lean and in turn blow up. So that I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm like, well, hey, I want to experiment with this and see what it's all about, see if it's legit, see how long it lasts. Kind of for you guys, I mean, for me, because I really didn't want to go through the whole process of tuning my car just yet. Eventually, I plan on doing it, but I kind of want to see how far we can go with just this FMU. Now, that's like a $200, $150 to $200 part that you install. So once you have that, you're good to go. You're done, and you can do your pulls. So the way those come is in different ratios. So basically different air fuel ratios, I guess you could call it. And mine is the richest one. It's 12-to-1, and I think they go, I don't know if they have 11-to-1, but they have 10-to-1, 8-to-1. Basically, if you don't need that much fuel, you're fine. You don't need to go super rich, but I did the richest one. So yeah, I really need to adjust this clutch. But anyway, I did the richest one, and the way I came to that conclusion is because there's like a chart that says if your injectors are this cc, then you're gonna want this this ratio. And I just kind of double checked it. So what I did was I figured out what my stock ECU injector size is. I actually emailed the engineer of the fuel management place, and he basically confirmed that the 12:1 is what I was gonna want. So that's what I went with. And now the way you install it is it's very simple. So you've got a vacuum port on it that you just find a vacuum port, an open vacuum port on your intake manifold, or you can use you can tee off. If you have like a boost gauge, you can tee off from there. There's a few different options there. But then you also have your fuel in and fuel out. So you find your fuel return on the after your fuel rail, and you're going to cut that fuel return line, run it into the FMU, and then take the other side of the cut fuel return line and put that into the outlet of the FMU and mount it somewhere in your engine bay, and that is literally it. So it's very simple. So I have been running it since I turboed the car. I haven't drove the car a ton, but I have drove it, and I've beat on it when I drove it, and I'm having no issues. Now, I'm only making about 10 pounds of boost. I'm controlling that by the wastegate spring. So I've got a 10-pound spring in there. If I was running more boost than 10 pounds, I would not be using an FMU. I'd be getting a tune. But like I said, this was something that I just wanted to try out. I didn't want to go balls to the wall with the tuning and all that. So 10 pounds of boost, FMU, so far works perfect. I've had people comment on my YouTube videos saying that they've boosted tons of cars like this with an FMU, never had an issue. Now, it was just for like 10 pounds of boost, they said. I've had a guy say that he had it on his like S13 or something like that for 2 years and no issues. So it's wet outside, but I just did a first to second pull and had zero traction. So I'm making boost. It's super fun. I love it. If you guys are wanting to turbo your car, but you're intimidated by all that, you don't feel like spending the money on tuning, on an ECU, you have no idea about any of the electronics, you just want to mess with the mechanical side of things, I personally think that this is a great way to do it. I'd probably be a little hesitant to do it on like a daily driver. But from what I'm hearing, you can, no problem. Now, one guy did comment and say that when he boosts cars with an FMU, he uses the Y8 injectors because they're a little bit bigger, and you'll spray more fuel out of them. 40 miles an hour, I broke the tires loose. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, he runs the Y8 injectors to get more fuel spraying out of them. So that is one thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find some Y8 injectors for this car, which I'm sure are pretty cheap, and run those just to be safe, because if your car's running lean, that fuel is cooling off your cylinders, basically. If you're running lean, then you're not having that fuel spray in there. It's kind of essentially running dry, and you're basically gonna melt a piston. You're gonna build up an excessive amount of heat in there, and you're gonna blow up your car. That's how that works. So whenever you're adding air pressure, whenever you're adding air to your air fuel spark combination equation, you got to compensate for it. So the way to do that is to in this case either tune it or add an FMU, and I added the FMU. So anyway, I hope this was able to open up your eyes, some of the you guys that are just kind of on the low end. You don't have a ton of money, but you want to do something to your car, and you want to do something as far as turboing it, because that's a kind of a great way to learn. You know, it's pretty cool. So I hope I was able to help some of you guys understand what you can and can't do. Just know, I mean, you got to know how healthy your engine is, and it may not take a turbo too well if you've got an engine with 250,000 miles on it, and you're just going to slap a turbo on there, you know. Also, I do not have an upgraded oil pump, so I don't know if I'm really starving it for oil. It's only 10 pounds of boost, so I don't really think I'm starving it, but I guess we'll find out. It should be fine, and my 10 pounds of boost, 5 to 10 pounds of boost really isn't much. I hope I was able to help some of you guys out. I've been saying 10 pounds of boost this whole time. It's actually a 5-pound spring, and according to my boost gauge, I run about 7 pounds. So, yeah. But if you guys want to see my build, go check out my YouTube channel. I showed everything from the time I bought the car to turboing it, and in my last video, I give like a full detailed breakdown of everything I did to the Civic. So, you know, you can follow along if you want to do the same thing I did. But anyway, do me a favor, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys.